Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stone-Faced Reactions. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and today we are looking at the Witch from Mercury. We've gone through the whole series, we've seen all the characters on the episodes, and now it's time to ask which ones are hot and which ones aren't. That's the game we're playing today, right, Theta?
I'm sorry, which? You've thrown me off yet again.
We're playing hot or not with each character, right? That's exactly why we have this tier list.
Sorry, I heard the word episode and then hot or not. Like, what the hell are we doing?
But no, today we are ranking the characters, which ones we appreciate more and think are more interesting, and which ones we kind of forgot what they did in the series. So we're going to
About,
be going through each of those, and we'll also be going through each of the episodes as well and ranking those.
I was gonna say, a lot of these characters are sub 17, so probably not the greatest idea.
Fair, fair. I mean, what Gundam series doesn't have underage protagonists?
Um, uh, dumb.
G Gundam is the answer, actually.
I don't know
I
how
think
old
he's
Dumb
of I think
Kashu
he's
is.
of age.
I don't know. I don't know how old Dumb Kashu is. I don't know, by the same token, how old they are in 8th MS team.
Mhm.
Because those might also just be drafty age. So I don't know. That tends to
Mm,
be like 20s, right?
18.
18. Well, it's still age of majority in most places. So
Yeah. It's functional adult enough at that point. But we're not here to discuss the legality of anything. We're gonna go ahead and put them on the chart on, well, how much we like them. So, Theta, who do we have first here?
Vim Jeturk.
Vim Jeturk. Oh my gosh. This person.
I'm gonna say
For,
this now since we're on the very first person.
mhm.
The way that I have this set up, I can't see your face. So if you're making expressive gestures towards what you think about them, just know that I'm only going on your tone of voice. Right?
Perfectly fine, but Vim Jeturk starts off the series trying to assassinate via a bombing and ends off the series or the season basically in league with Suletta's mother here.
Incorrect. Vim Jeturk actually starts the series organizing with Delling an assault on an asteroid base.
Details. I'm starting from episode 1 here, but he does do that in the prologue. You are
I'm
correct.
starting from zero, like another anime does.
Right. Still, I think it's fair to say I highly appreciate Vim Jeturk. I think he is a wonderful antagonist because the thing he does is, even though he doesn't directly interact with Suletta, he is constantly moving things forward because of these ridiculous things he keeps doing. I like him. I would definitely put him like A or S tier.
I think we should also establish that we're working on the same rules that we established for Iron-Blooded Orphans.
Hmm.
That,
Never renounce.
yeah, because I would definitely put him in A tier. I mean, I did give a whole 30-minute diatribe about how interesting Vim Jeturk is as a character, you know, just before he died. But,
Yup.
yeah, no, I mean, even his machinations affect Suletta because he's constantly setting Ghoul after her. So,
He is. Oh, right, no, I remember where he ends now. But yeah, he's a big jerk. He's constantly doing stuff. He's fun to watch. I'm always curious what the hell he's gonna get up to next.
well, I mean, he's more
Uh,
than a big jerk because despite slapping his son across the face and almost publicly disowning him, he did, like, give that whole, oh, you're safe. We've been looking for you, just before he died.
he has some human emotion in there, right? He still has that, even though he's just the scheming scoundrel. It's great.
Well, he's also a former soldier, just like Delling.
Mhm.
So, yeah, if you were going to go S to A, I was just going to go straight A. So, he goes A.
Hell yeah. Up next, Suletta Mercury, the star of our show, the most adorable Gundam protagonist I can think about. S tier, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I made a quick joke about putting her in D, but yeah, she is the emotional resonance on which the entire show is based. There's no chance anybody could make any good argument about not making her S tier unless, I don't know, they're from a generation of Gundam watchers that are unable to handle a non-male main character.
Right. Now, in the terms of like overall Gundam protagonists, like usually we see like a lot of them that are reluctant to be fighting and such, or like are interested in peace above all else. Suletta doesn't have like much of an ideology around her as far as she wants her friends to be happy, and she wants to be happy and more confident in herself. It's very, very normal comparatively. And it's funny when this actually turns out to be, well, enough that she is splattered with blood and doesn't care because she accomplished her goal.
Well, I mean, that follows through with the prologue, remember?
Mhm.
Dot, dot, dot. Hey, they look like candles, you know? So, but it very much it follows through on the whole. We're introduced to them as characters first, and then the fighting happens later, which
Mhm.
is very much the opposite of every other one that we've watched so far.
Right. Uh, Up next, of course, we have Miorine Rembran. So, Theta, what do you have to say about her first? I'll let you
I
take the
mean,
lead.
she's the management specialist. She's not in the school to go pilot training, even though her entire life revolves around what the pilot training students are doing, in
Mhm.
that the holder is their groom. So, but yeah, daughter of Delling Rembrandt and some dead woman from Earth who possibly, no, not possibly, in fact created her own strain of tomatoes. Yeah, I think, as I already said, beholden to the holder position. I gotta admit, I'm tempted to put her in A.
Why is that?
I mean, episode 10 for one reason. Uh,
Oh, the
well,
misunderstanding episode.
yeah, the misunderstanding, and I mean, she makes up for it in episode 11. It's just that, I don't know, sometimes I feel like Choo Choo has a better relationship with Suletta than Mjorn does sometimes.
Right, that's true.
I don't know,
Uh,
I'm tempted to put her at A. Sell me on why I'm hearing that you want to put her at S.
Right. Bjorn has a lot of things going with her. I would say that in terms of duo protagonists, she is doing like a lot of development. She's going to a lot of places, getting a lot of things done, and is like a lot of the positive action. She kind of has to drag Suletta along with her to get her to do things, but she is the one who is pushing the action. She is a very active protagonist. She has opinions and thoughts on a lot of things, and of course, uh the way we can see her thoughts evolve in real time from, well, I guess I'll just sell weapons. Why not? I don't give a shit. To, oh my gosh, combat is terrible. Really, I think helps fully humanize every bit of her, sort of stoic, uppity personality for sure, right? Also, I think the thing that we like the most are the points where Suletta and Miord are interacting and they have great little moments together where they make up and kiss at the end. They don't kiss, but they make up.
One last counterpoint that I'm going to need you to sell me on.
Sure.
End of episode 10? I want to say not end of episode 10. Nearest the end of episode 10.
Huh.
Suletta turns back and looks at Elan number 5 and says, I'll always believe in my groom. Or whatever, something like
Mhm.
that. End of episode 12. Mjorn with a shocked look on her face. Murder!
Yeah.
That's where we're left right now. Mjorn
Yeah.
does not believe in Suletta and accusatorily says, Murder!
That is not a downside for me. That is her reacting as a real individual and going, "Oh my gosh, this is terrible." Because it is. She's tomatoed someone.
Right. But I mean, off of the face of, I will always believe in my other, to her being given the opportunity to,
She
and reeling from it instead.
she is in crisis, is what it is, and I want to see how that resolves. So, what is your final decision?
What's I'm saying? Was that your entire counter?
That was, yeah.
I feel I guess I would be doing the community a disservice if I shoved her an A. Though at least I've voiced why I would do so.
All right. So up to S tier. So this one, I don't even really have to guess where you're gonna put him. Where does Ghoul go?
He's S tier. I mean,
Agreed.
granted, granted, a lot of people could argue B tier for Ghoul, given that he has been granted so many opportunities for the call to adventure
Hmm.
and has basically denied them all to go do his own thing or to try to live out his own pride, like the episode Ghoul's Pride. But, like, I'm gonna go off live in the woods, or I'm gonna go be a worker named Bob. I think Ghoul has so much untapped potential, and in the early episodes we see what he's capable of. I've often argued that Ghoul is the best duelist
Hmm.
in Astasia. And, he has a 20, yeah, before Suletta appeared, he had a 27-0 win record, whereas the other householders or house leaders only had like a 7 win record. And one of them is driving a fucking Gundam. But,
You'll
so Ghoul
when
is,
the field gets even, he actually has an even fight until he gives up on that. I think,
oh
if I
no,
recall.
technically Elan number 4 in a non Gundam beat Ghoul. But
Hmm.
I think if Ghoul had a rematch, knowing the tricks and everything, he would have won again after that. Ghoul is the best non Gundam duelist. Because you even saw after he kicked the AI off of the Valencia, he did those weird kickback tricks,
Hmm.
where the feet had grappling hooks in them, doing crazy 360
Go
3D aerial
Code
maneuvers.
Geass.
Same writer.
Yeah, I know.
So,
There's apparently an affinity for mechs with grappling hooks.
so yeah, based on potential alone, I give
Hmm.
Ghoul S tier.
Yeah. So I agree with like everything you said. He's a fun character. He's high and mighty, and my favorite part, of course, that you might like hearing is that I love his humiliation, where he's kicked out into the spaceship woods for several episodes and is camping out.
That's just where he
Which
chose to
still
be.
gets I know, it still gets me that he's camping out on a space station. He's still in this hyper privileged situation, but yet is also mirroring being like a hobo. And it's not until he leaves that like he actually like has full humility and doesn't have anything left. Well, when he's out in the woods, he still has like support structures. He's still like next to the school and everything. Uh, but I think he hasn't done like his growth, but he's like been on that pathway. He he was humbled, he's thinking about things, he's figuring out where his lot in life is. And then he kills his father, and now he's going to be completely horrified and have no idea what to do.
Well, he's been laid low completely.
Mhm.
He doesn't have that job. Because he went off for his own thing to be Bob. He doesn't have the school anymore. The support structure's probably going to be gone now that his
Yeah.
dad is dead. So, literally, he's out there in the weeds by himself. He's got
The
nothing.
only the only direction he has to go from here is up, and I want to see that. I think it'll be great.
You might not remember this. There was an old Mad TV sketch
Mhm.
where There was a commercial sort of thing where you see somebody at the worst, and the commercial will be like, "Oh, that was me 5 years ago, and then I went to IDT Tech or whatever." But the thing is the commercial, since it's Mad TV, just gets worse and worse. Like, that was me. I just left my wife. He's homeless. And then that was me 2 weeks ago. Now I'm sucking off dudes in the back alley just to get protein. And it's worse and worse. Put a gun in his mouth. That was me 5 minutes ago. The gun went off and I blew my cheek off. This ghoul is in the midst of that Mad TV sketch.
It can't possibly get worse for him. Let's see how. So, now that we've signed him to S tier, we have up next Elan number 4. Our favorite Elan, right?
Elan Ceres, Enhanced Human number 4.
Yep. So, I think when it comes to Elan, number 4, I definitely liked him. He definitely has the stoic personality to him. He didn't want to interact. He knew what everything was all about. He just did not care. He was kind of out of it. And then Suletta happened, when he starts getting meaning back into his life, and he aggressively is fighting the idea that he should care about anything. And then he gets murked off to happy birthday.
I mean, arguably, he had depth before Suletta. You
Mhm.
remember how we went over the 2 paragraphs of the book that we saw him reading?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and how much depth there was as those 2 paragraphs related to his character as we knew it. I mean,
He's thoughtful, he's competent, he's already like exactly where he needs to be. He's accomplished whatever his goals were. He just doesn't have much more to care about.
almost exactly the opposite of actual Elan Ceres.
Mhm. I would definitely give him S tier. Like in the 3 episode arcs that we have him, I enjoyed every minute.
I think this is going to be another disagreement.
Oh
I
no.
very much, I very much enjoyed Elan Ceres number 4. Um, there were some downsides, like oh, you're not just like me. After all, I'm gonna duel you, ghoul. And he went, he went out there on a limb. He had a really good intro. He's literally our "It's a Gundam" voice for the show.
Mhm.
Uh, and he was cool during that. He was cool during the "I'm gonna give Suletta a meal while she's in school prison," whatever the hell that is. And then the duels happen and it's weird. And then the whole happy birthday stuff raised him back up. I just don't think he's on par with what we've given as our current S tier. So I would say A tier.
Bam. There we go then. So we got him number 4 at A tier. And up next we have Shaddiq Zenelli. I didn't know the Zenelli part. I don't think they stated that a whole lot, did they?
Yeah, when we know who his dad is. Also, we've seen his name written down on multiple white background blue text
Sorry,
boards.
I forgot that was the last name of some people. So that's my bad right there. But Shaddiq, at least in my opinion, amazing antagonist. He's not strictly evil. I don't think. Like he's clearly like has a plan. He wants to go through with it.
Vim is
He's
dead because of him.
but he's killed people. He'll do it again, and he's out for power. And he's gone up against Miorine, trying to take everything they and Suletta have from them. Uh, he's great to watch. I love him. He's such a happy villain, right?
Vim and Shaddiq had a plan for episode 12,
Mhm.
and that plan involved, hey, give me 2 hours to get out of here. Shaddiq says, yeah, I'll do that, hangs up, and then immediately calls the terrorists and said, it's a go. Go for it. Go, go, go. That's why Vim was still on the scene.
I know. He's this happy backstabber. It's great. I love it. He's got this adorable smile right there.
And yeah, a
Look at
couple
that.
episodes before
How could
that,
you think he's doing anything wrong?
backstabbed our main characters too.
Yep.
I mean, he's
So
obviously S tier. I'm not arguing that.
Same.
He's our main protagonist.
Antagonist.
Some say depends on who you're rooting for, I guess.
But yeah, no, I enjoy the performance. I loved seeing it, and I want to see more. And we're gonna get more. And I have no idea what side he's on. It's so great.
Well, it's because you keep thinking that his dad is up to things that he's not.
Right. Up next, why don't you go ahead and introduce them?
Chuatury Panlunch,
That is right.
otherwise known as Choo Choo.
Yes. So Choo Choo, what are your feelings on Choo Choo?
Well, she comes from I don't know where she's from on Earth, but a place where they do a lot of mining, and those miners tend to get into accidents a lot, where they lose limbs and
He's
life.
from Virginia, then. That's all I'm gonna say. That's canon now.
I mean, she could be from Africa. I think you'll find, Griff, that a lot of mining happens across the world.
This is very true. That's why I'm just picking a random place and saying Choo Choo's
I mean,
this.
honestly, she could be from Australia as well. I really, the really only
uh,
concept that we got from it was actually there's two connecting factors which might actually tell us where she's from.
mhm,
One, she has a phone call or video chat with a bunch of the guys back on Earth,
uh-huh.
uh, where they're like congratulating her, and she's talking to them. And in that video conference, she mentions a news report from Earth that we saw previous to the episode, which then had like an area laid out.
Mhm.
And anybody who's like one of those, oh yeah, I can tell where that is in GeoGuessr from one still image, could possibly tell us.
I looked at the license plate and I noticed that they had acrylic characters and it went on for 12 characters. Therefore, he must be in Azerbaijan or
Well, it
something.
tends
I
to
don't know.
be like the color of the sand or the clouds patterned this way, that
Mhm.
sort of shit. But I
Right.
just mean
So Choo
this.
Choo Earthling.
Well, I just mean to say that we had literal scenes from a news thing that she collaborates with that gives us a general location.
So, but what about Choo Choo herself? She just kind
Hot-headed,
of like, yeah, hot-headed personality in
steadfast.
general. Hmm.
Um, you know, I mean, it's basically she
She's
sits there, she broods, and then she punches.
she doesn't do anything super big in the plot yet, right? She hasn't had a big moment or anything. Yeah.
Well, she gets into a fight with two characters who aren't on the tier list
Hmm.
because for some reason, the Gundam site itself, not the Gundam wiki, but the Witch from Mercury Gundam site itself, did not think that they were important enough to give them a character page. So she gets into a
Right.
fight with those two, which makes Suletta cry. Not the fight, those two people make Suletta cry.
Right. I will say I definitely think I like her character, her characterization here, and what she's done. She feels like she's an action character. She will go out and do something. She'll be good about it. She was involved with the 6v6, I believe, right? Because they don't have a lot of pilots. She's basically the one in Earth House.
Yeah, she was the second to last one to be taken out, I believe.
Right. So demonstrably she's also good, but she's not involved in the main stuff happening yet. Like she doesn't have a direct connection or a stated reason to super care about stuff other than like, oh, they've attacked the station, I suppose.
Well, they
Uh
formed
I
the Gundam Corporation, of which
yeah,
she's a
yeah.
part of, and she's actually, we done that. I've in fact told you a moment ago why she
Mhm.
super cares. The Gundam Corporation allows her to give back to those miners
Ah,
that raised her and have been
mhm.
supporting her, who have been injured doing all this stuff on Earth.
Right.
That was her emotional resonance moment.
I guess what I mean is like I'm not sure when the conflict starts that she's going to care about the conflict itself. I
Well,
don't have like a specific idea about that yet. But I do feel that through the season she's been set up, she's ready, and as soon as like season 2 pops and she gets an episode, that's where we get everything about her and we go, yes, good. Best new main character S tier. Right now though, I put her like A or B. Just because she's just there right now.
this is where your wavering is going to cost a character. I
Alright.
would have put her at A tier, but you said A or B, which means that she goes B tier.
Bump. There we go. Like I said, I'm excited to see more of her. We just need to see more of her. So who's up next?
Nika Nanaura. I don't
So
think I said the last name right. Nika Nanaura. No, I said it right.
now we've talked about her on and off, not just because of her hair coloring scheme either. Um, and that's because she's related to the people on Earth, and she's basically in direct contact with them. And I believe in episode 12, specifically, broadcasts a code to tell them to stop attacking her, and they go away. And now she's going to kill the Earth House president.
That's what you keep saying. I mean, we don't know what her association is. She might not be related, but she's definitely an ally of the prince.
Yeah, she's got a
Although I don't
she's
know
got a
if
lot of stuff going
I
on.
don't know if Shaddiq is the prince or if the prince is somebody on Earth we haven't been introduced to yet, or what the hell is going on.
I would probably say Shaddiq, honestly.
Well, why would the Earthians call Shaddiq the prince? I don't know. He was uh, he was
He was
adopted out of a
adopted.
Grassley House orphanage, and we don't know if the Grassley House orphanage was on Earth or not. So
The orphanage for
wayward
dispossessed
kids.
aristocrats. So there you go. Uh, she's got a lot of interesting things going on. Where would you put her?
Actually, I want to know where you would put her, since you're gonna obviously push the narrative that she's killing the Earth House representative. So I want to know where that puts her in your ranking.
On the thesis of being this uh I don't want to be here, but I'm a secret agent kind of thing, I would put her at A. But that's because of headcanon. What about you? Do you have would you put her less than that?
I also don't think she's gonna kill Martin because they're all stuck on the ship together. There's
Mhm.
no possible way. Oh, a stray bullet that
Yeah,
didn't
no.
break didn't break atmosphere or anything.
It didn't break the window, but it shot him. Oh, don't
I
investigate this. We're pushing the body out there. It's
I
someone else's problem.
totally cannot agree with your headcanon, but
Okay.
at the same time, I really want to put her in B, but I think she's too important. Like, you remember when Miorine took the aerial to get into the first duel,
Mhm.
and Suletta had to ride a little bike out there to get back in aerial, and it was because Nika illegally gave Suletta her pad, which is why she registered, why the bike registered under Nika's name, because
Mhm.
Nika just helped her out. I mean,
Oh
Nika's been
yeah.
doing that.
Gosh, those ages ago.
Yeah, she hasn't been acting against the characters this whole time. She's been helping.
She's
It's
a sleeper agent.
yeah, but I'm saying she's doing such she didn't have to do.
Mhm.
So as much as I want to put her in B tier, I think she's too important, and I think she has to go in A tier.
All right then. A tier she goes. So up next we have, well, I
The
would say let's do the whole crew here because they're never not together,
the
right?
Sanderson sisters.
We got
No,
Kel,
actually,
Golneri,
they are.
Nevola, and Nugen.
I would make an argument that I don't know, one of them actually could be singled out to be more important than the others.
I was going to put out Nugen is clearly the leader and primary voice. Like, correct? You would agree on that?
Well, I think Nugen was the one that I was going to pull out of the group, but I don't know that they're the leader. In fact, they're all co-CEOs.
That
So,
is true. They all see themselves equally. She's just kind of the louder voice of it. She's like the big talker, I think, right?
well, specifically, she's the one who, like, during the big, what do they call it? Not indoctrination. What was it called?
Uh, I got it on one of these. Incubation?
Yeah,
Yeah, incubation party.
during the incubation party, she calls out Suletta, raises her up, puts the red light on her, calls out the whole Gundam thing. She does a lot more than the other three. The other three are like there for every backroom meeting, but Nukin
They went
stood
to the
on a
party for
stage.
emotional support, you see. They come as a package.
Well, Nukin stood up on stage, is all I'm saying.
Right. So we have a little bit more of her, and the rest are all working together, part of the Elan crew, and doing their thing. So so where would you put them? How would you describe their role as antagonists here?
Well, they are the head of the Palil, was a research group or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Palil Technologies. They're in charge of Palil Technologies, of which Master Elin is under, or at the same time, maybe runs. It's hard to tell if, God, it's so hard to tell if Elin is a Tony Stark or a pawn. I can't. Anyway, so yeah, they're in that group with the Belmora under them as well.
Mhm.
But they are also the third rank group among the top three of the Bennett group. Ah,
Uh,
jeez, I'm gonna say C. I put him at C,
okay. I think
with
I think
possibly giving Nugan a B.
I think I will just hard agree with that, honestly. The group as a whole doesn't have a lot going on other than being, well, we're kind of in the shadows under like this flickering monitor light and we're going to be plotting. It's like, okay, but what are you guys doing? It's like, ah, we're sending someone else out. Nugen, however, has a little bit more feature and was fun to watch. I would be interested in seeing them do something more active, but you know, they're a bunch of old women CEOs just doing what they do, sitting around talking and telling other people what to do.
Well, it's more that Nugan engaged with the with Suletta and
Hmm.
had an actual back and forth where she challenged her basically.
Right. All right. So who is up next? Sarius Zenelli, the old geezer.
Yeah, specifically old Sarius Zenelli.
Now I'm looking at the young version here and over to the new one, and oh my gosh, your face! What happened to your face? He got old,
I guess
so old.
more specifically,
He's intaking oxygen there
yeah.
too. My gosh.
Well, I mean, he never gets up out of the wheelchair that I recall, but
Mhm.
yeah, specifically he needed a nasal intake for oxygen, which I've only ever seen in two animated characters ever.
Yeah, actually, this is does not happen frequently. Now that I think about it. So, but he is there while he's old in this shape in from episodes 1 to 13. What does he do? I think he talks with a couple of people, but I'm not sure he takes an action.
He has a number of meetings within
Mhm.
the Benedict group. He brings Shaddiq along. Like specifically, you remember when
Mhm.
Miorine goes to the meeting to defend Suletta after
Yeah.
it's initially discovered it might be a Gundam?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Sarius is there and Shaddiq is there in his suit with his hair pulled up.
Mhm.
That was my initial defense of Sarius to you before when it comes to Shaddiq and your accusation that Shaddiq wants to kill his dad. It's like
Mhm.
they're always together. It's like, no, you're wildly misunderstanding their relationship.
I
Yeah.
have my interpretation there, but at least as far as Sarius
Well, their
goes,
relationship is antagonistic, but
yeah, yeah,
more so, I want to show my dad business wise. He's
mhm.
not planting bombs in his shuttle.
Not yet anyway. But so let's see. Does he have a specific talk with any other character other than Shaddiq? I think he does something at the incubation, doesn't he? He talks with somebody, or
Well,
am I misremembering?
he also has various meetings with the other CEOs, namely
Yeah.
Vim and
Mhm.
the four that we just got done talking about. I mean, in
Yeah.
that very episode you're talking about, I believe during my last hour of rambling, I mentioned the fact that they're talking about Gundams and cheating the rules.
hmm
And I believe it was Sarius that said, "You'd know something about that, wouldn't you?"
So then where do we put this character? I just honestly don't remember a lot of important things happening. He has like an important note here, particularly with Shaddiq, but his presence is kind of just not felt. I would kind of put him at C myself. What about you?
I guess I have to put him at C. I was gonna put him at B, but your ranking him lower means he goes lower.
hmm
He is ever present. He is the manipulating hand on Shaddiq that causes Shaddiq to act out, which then causes that acting out to then cause our main characters to be in the position they're in now. So,
Right. I guess more accurately, he's the first domino to fall in this whole disaster happening.
incorrect. Banneret would be the first domino to fall. Well, Banneret's actions during the prologue act against Sarius, but that's, again, we're treating a young Sarius and old Sarius as two different characters. So I'll make that argument when we get to young Sarius.
Gotcha, gotcha. So, who do we have next? Who's on first?
Felsi Rollo.
Felsi Rollo. I don't see them here on my other list. And just looking at their face, oh wow,
What's
yeah, that
your
face.
what's your other list?
The just kind of like the list of images that we're using. She wasn't like in the folder we
Yes,
have.
yes, she is.
Uh,
I have that open up as my reference. She's between Eri, and Fang.
I know. Oh,
Should be in
there she is.
alphabetical. I would say it should be in alphabetical order. So
There we go. I'm sorry. I think I misheard you. So there we go. Fellas. So,
no, Felsi,
yeah.
Felsi.
Oh, yep. So Felsi Rollo. Who is she?
I in fact had to double check that her name was right because it's spelled two different ways in two different places.
Is she one of Shaddiq's crew, or is she one of the pranksters?
See, now that you are actually questioning, when it comes to characters that one of us might not be sure about,
hmm
I want the person who's not sure to go first.
Right. And the thing is, like, I'm looking at them and I just don't remember. The best I can say is I bet she's part of Shaddiq's crew, and I don't think she made an impression on me. Maybe she has like one or two lines. Is she actually the one who goes, don't go after my man, or is that somebody else?
Well, with all that patent information, where would you rank?
Uh, I'd put it at D. I don't think she's very important.
See, as much as I love the methodology that I've come up with, and by the way, will continue to follow, it only serves to shoot myself in the foot,
hmm
because I was going to rank her at B.
Oh,
You were wrong on nearly every count.
damn! I didn't know. I have no idea who
Sorry,
she
sorry,
is.
actually, I'm wrong. You were actually wrong on every account. She's not part of Shaddiq's crew. She's part of Ghoul's crew. She's one
Oh,
of
okay.
she's one of two of Ghoul's ride or dies. You remember?
And then
Um,
she dies and doesn't go with Ghoul.
No, actually, she doesn't die. But when Suletta gets into the fight with Elan, she's
Mhm.
one of the two people that run into the gym to tell Ghoul what's happening. They're basically like when Ghoul gets kicked out of Jeturk House, they're one of the two people worried in the background, wondering what Ghoul's gonna do now. They're they're one of two of Ghoul's ride or dies. So
She's a
that's
groupie, and
that's why
honestly,
I
I'm
was
not.
that's why I was gonna rank them higher. But you said D, I was gonna say B. That means they go to C.
Fair enough. All right, who do we have
I say it's
next?
a hard press to make anybody go to D. And I think the fact that
We have to agree that they're just shouldn't be there.
or we both have to forget them, which is not going to happen for me. So that safety net of me not forgetting anybody is the only reason a lot more people aren't going to go into D.
All right. Up next is Petra Itta. So this is another girl gang character, isn't she?
We mean girl gang.
She's either Ghoul's groupie or Shaddiq's groupie. That's what I'm getting off the face right now.
Once again, you can't remember who
I
she is
don't
either.
I don't remember one of the side characters. Everyone point at Griffin laugh. Point and laugh. There you go. So since I don't know anything, what do you got to say about her?
So you're saying you're going to put her at D as well?
I'm gonna put her D. I just don't remember. It just didn't matter to
Well,
me.
make an educated guess because I just want to know who you would think to put her in. Is she
I
Earth
mean, there's.
House? Is she another Jeturk girl? Is he Shaddiq's gang?
I guess she's slightly happy. She has to be an Earth House girl, right? So I guess she's a mechanic.
There are a lot of mechanics in Earth House. That is
Yeah,
true.
it could be one of the vague guesses I got here. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with that. I'm gonna say, well, I guess she goes in D.
You know what's great?
What?
I only threw out the Earth House thing to throw you off.
Ah, I hate you.
She's the other Jeturk girl. I was gonna put
Ah.
her at B.
Oh, well, there she goes to C. The groupies have been grouped up.
Gotta put my. I was gonna put
Oh my gosh.
My Jeturk girls higher, but you done thrown me, Griff. You done thrown me.
5 out of 6 of our C ranks are just groupies.
Yeah, but the horror is that you're not gonna remember who they are.
That's the point. They're groupies. You're not supposed to. So why don't you go ahead and start on this one?
Secelia Dote.
Yep.
Yeah, she's the head of that one house that has yet to have been mentioned. That also doesn't share a name with her, as far as I remember.
Are you
Uh,
saying absolutely nothing happens with her?
well, she's always snide in the background, making fun of Ghoul's constant loss record as it starts to happen.
Is
She's
she on the student
also
council?
she's also in yeah, I just said that.
Okay, okay.
She's also the only house leader that has another. Well, it's not the student council; it's the dueling council, and she's the only house leader who is part of the dueling council that has another dueling council member in her house.
So I'll go ahead and say then, given this, I don't really remember her scenes all that much. She's got a cool look, but that's about all it I got for her. So she goes to D just because I didn't remember her and you did. Where were you gonna place her for her one snide remark?
No, she has constant snide remarks. She's in like every episode that the duel happens because the council's there, and everybody loves her for her outfits and how super revealing they seem to be for no reason.
So what's her rank?
I'd probably go C.
So she goes to D tier.
Oh, that's right. Fuck.
Aha, got you.
Well, I mean, it's probably better that I make my judgments based on what I think and not metagame the chart. But I was
Constantly
also
meditating.
I was also going to point out. I just double checked real quick. You were at least 1 point correct on who Petra was.
Mhm.
She is a mechanic.
Aha.
Well, you remember the school is full of other classes other than piloting.
I can take a random guess and be right 1/3 of the time.
Like Candyman can.
So, go ahead and do the next one.
I do enjoy that also I pointed out who these characters were when we did the whole web chart thing.
Yeah, and I forgot.
It's like, hey, and this guy is, and this. Well, I just think it's funny because these are specifically the same images I used there. We have Rajan Zahi. Zahi. I don't know. I understand that I said the same thing twice when I intended to pronounce it differently. It's difficult to say how you say that last name.
Fair enough, but who is he?
Well, that's my thing, Griffiths. I know who he is, but there's a question in my mind. Do you remember who he is?
I don't, which is why I wanted you to go first.
Right, so you're. Well, if you don't know who they are, just tell me D off the bat, and then I'll start saying who they are.
It's more fun to have you naturally talk about them. Go ahead.
Right. But I just want to know ahead of time before I'm jumping in.
So who do we got?
Rajan Zahi, he is, okay. Actually, hold on, I might be getting this wrong.
You don't remember either.
No, he's one of two assistants, and now, just on top of my head, let me look down here. I think I'm copying where my cursor is, so the viewer can see as I'm scrolling through these people. I just want to double check. Okay, I think I might have been thinking about this guy first. Okay, yeah, no, he is, Delling's, assistant.
So he's Delling's assistant. What do you remember him doing?
God, what was it? Episode 1. He is there accompanying Delling to the shuttle, informing him of what's going on at the school. Like, he doesn't do anything important. The fact he's going to wind up in D anyway. But the fact you don't remember him, I don't think is actually going to change where he winds up.
Fair enough. So he's an assistant, he's in the background, and he just doesn't get a lot of action. He's not important to the plot here.
Well, I mean, the argument could be made that certain things wouldn't have happened without him acting as the go-between. Arguably, he probably kept Delling more alive than he otherwise would be come last episode. But,
Right.
you know, unseen things are unseen.
Look, we're not going to end up with an episode centered around Rajan Zahi and his family and how he loves them and has a wife and a kid, and then he explodes tragically, right? It's definitely not happening.
Episode 13 could entirely be that. As far as we know,
we
he's
get the
not.
assistant episode.
Well, as far as we know, he's not dead, so. Could be.
Alright. So up next, then, we have Martin Upmont. Now, who could forget this lovable face? He is the Earth House president. I'm looking to you just to confirm that I'm right.
You know that much. We've talked about him so much. He's the center of your headcanon.
Yes, that's right. He's Earth House president, and he's dead. So, on that basis, it's hilarious that we have this, sort of unconfident personality who is apparently the designated president of a house. I can only imagine he's like an upperclassman or something, or does he like have a different designation? Did you like see that information out there?
He's a third year, so we know that.
There you go. He's third year. That's probably why he's in charge then.
Well, if you remember from the conspiracy web that I made, that had them all organized by year. So organized by house, group, and then top would be the house leader. Below that would be third years, underneath that second years, underneath that first years.
Gotcha. So, as far as it goes, I think he's fun to see, and now he's involved in a lot of trouble. And of all things, he immediately recognizes what's happening when the signal is sent out to terrorists and goes, "Oh, wait a second, you're with them?" So he is a smart boy. But he's also not, like, super doing anything right now.
I think you're also putting words in his mouth.
Maybe I am.
I don't recall him ever being, Oh, you're with them? I believe his words were like, what are you doing?
Well, I'm still gonna put him at B. I think he has potential. He is interesting. I would like to see what's going on with him, or maybe just to see him die tragically.
I mean, I can agree with B. I mean, you didn't also mention the fact that he was in the 6-on-6 duel, wasn't he?
Right, yeah. I think most of the Earth House had to kind of like pitch in for that,
Well,
unfortunately.
no, there was
So,
a lot of them that didn't go in, and he didn't want to be either. But I
mhm,
believe he's also one of the mechanic students. And we all know there was the mechanic students that won the day for the 6-on-6 fight.
mhm. So, up next we have Nuno Kargan. He's clearly an Earth House boy. I don't remember him doing anything.
Let's see, is Earth House Boy enough to say you remembered who he was?
I remember who he is, I think, but I would still put him at D, just because I'm like, he just pass.
Oh man, you're doing a great disservice
Am
to
I?
a very underrated background relationship that's going on in the story.
Oh, wait, is he the focus of, like, this whole relationship drama the minor cast is having?
What are you talking about?
Alright, so you remember when we said earlier, one of Shaddiq's crew was like, "Get your
No,
hands off my
no,
man," and we have the fortune to. No, okay,
I
he's not the focus of that.
no, I
Okay,
say I know what you're talking about now. No,
it would be funny if he was. What's your take?
you know what? I want to skip him real quick. Let's skip him for right now, and let's talk about the next guy.
All right, Ojelo Gabel, another Earth House man. He's there, and he appears enough and has like at least some positive personality. But again, it's another one of those. I'm not sure he gets up to anything moments. You know,
But you were also
Mm,
gonna put him in D.
I would probably just put him a D of I don't have any feelings for him.
All right, this is why I skipped. These two characters have a background relationship that I say relationship, I just mean like relations, like friends
Mhm.
and whatnot, that spans multiple episodes together, that hits friendships. They have like a spat. They stop talking to one another, and then they bring it all together with like a fist bump near the end. They are in almost every episode, and like I said, a great disservice you're doing by not remembering them. They're
To say
constantly
I completely missed it.
they're constantly gambling together. Almost everything that they have sometimes fail, sometimes win.
Oh yeah, Ojella's the addictive gambler. That's right. I forgot about that.
Well, they both gamble.
Yeah.
And when they were forming the corporation, um, Nuno specifically didn't really care at the moment if they formed a corporation about creating machines of war. And that's what causes the rift between him and Ojelo. I can't really remember what brings them back together again. I remember it was they're sitting across the table from one another. I think it was when they decided to form Gundam. And that's when like one of them's face down on the table, the other one looks up and just like drags her arm across the table, fist bump. Now they're back together. Gang's back together again.
So
Unfortunately, as great as that was, I would have put them at C tier. But you've dragged them back down to D tier for not paying attention to this relationship going on in the background.
I was clearly paying attention to the main characters who were having way more fun.
There's
I didn't
so
notice the little
much.
lovers match. My
There's
bad.
so much stuff happening in the show. That's why I love it so much. The characters, man. It's not just the main guy lamenting in his own head, sitting in a mobile suit in space for no reason.
What am I fighting for?
Yeah, even the background characters are having their own stories. So many layers, man. So many
Again,
layers.
not an indictment on whether it's good or not, but more upon, well, was it really important? No.
Yes,
It's cute.
actually. Well, it's their narrative describes the narrative of the Earthian that's lost stuff to the war, or at least the oppression of Earthians due to Spacian economic and whatever we saw the mobile suits on Earth doing to oppress the crowds to an Earthian that's apparently been raised more in space. Or I don't know why he is so apathetic and having to be reminded of the losses they've both been through.
Hmm.
There are point characters when it's not so in your face like Choo Choo is.
All right,
Like I said, there's so much there given in such little time frames.
all right. So we still got our best buds here. Now we have up next Till Nis, and I'm gonna go ahead and say who again.
You want to make a guess at the very least?
When it comes to background cast, who who could Till Nis be? Um,
You
I
know,
want to guess
you
Mopey
know,
Student Council character.
as I say, you do know that there's at least one guy in the Jeturk crew. I mean, of the Ghoul
Oh,
Gang.
oh, is he in the Ghoul Gang?
Is that your guess?
Uh, no, my guess was Mopey Student Council person.
No, Till is not in the student council. And I guess it's good that you didn't follow my bluff. He's not in the Ghoul Gang either.
Hmm.
He's part of the Earth crew. He's an Earthian. Specifically, when you're introduced to him, he said, "Hi, my name's Till." And then he gets introduced by the Earth crew. "This is Till." He doesn't say very much. And he says, "I just introduced myself." That's about it.
Yeah, that's a good gag for sure. But introducing a character is he doesn't say very much, and then proceeds to not say very much through the rest. Yeah, he's just D tier.
Yeah,
He's
I mean,
there. He's fine.
I think I would have put him at D tier myself, and I know who he is. So,
Hmm. So for the next two characters, I'm gonna say I remember both of them for a reason, and I'm probably gonna rank them about the same. But this one, let me find their face so I get their name
starts with
correct
an L.
here. An L.
I said if you have an alphabetical order, starts with
Where
an
where
L.
is L in the alphabet? Can you tell me?
Near the
Ah, there
middle.
we go. Lilique Kadoka Lipati. Oh wow, that is a mouthful, isn't it? But Lilique, I remember her and our next girl up here having their lunch, enjoying their time when they get bullied by the
I
Spacians.
actually think it's Lilique, isn't it?
Leak, maybe? There is like an there's Lili.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, Lilique. That's what I said, didn't I?
Yeah, Lily.
Yeah, Lilique. Like, a little Lilique. Yeah, I mean, that's has the same.
Well, I usually like assume like Q starts like a brand new syllable.
Well, I'm also not trying to work off of reading it. I'm trying to work off of how I thought their name was said.
Fair
Because
enough.
she has her name said quite a few times.
Right. So the scene I remember is, of course, them having lunch early on in an episode. They get bullied by the Spacians, and they have to leave, basically. So I remember that about them, and I think they feature a little bit when it comes to the Earthian house talks. Like, I think they get more voice lines than a few other characters, right? Or am I misremembering that?
I mean, I would say that's true, probably.
Okay. So right now, I'm fishing for C tier with her because I remember more about her, and I feel she set the scene better for the Earthians than the rest of the Earthians.
I feel like what we're doing here is the opposite of what happened in IBO tier
Oh
list,
yeah,
where I was dragging everyone down. You're the drag on this one. I was gonna
well,
put her in B tier. She is the very well, not the very first. I guess Nika was the very first.
mhm.
There's a scene specifically where Suletta is looking for help. Like, God, what was it called? The spotter for one of her
Yeah, yeah.
tests, and she asks Lilique, and she's like, "You know we're from Earth House, right?" She's like that. I very specifically pointed out Like, hey, I'm glad they're using like different physical models for people. Not everyone's the
Mhm.
same skinny person.
Yeah, yeah.
She's also part of the "Don't mess with my man" thing that you referenced 3 times, not knowing which characters were involved. She's also one of our points of interest to the fortune telling thing, which may
Oh,
give
yeah,
us a
yeah,
lot of
she gets
clues.
involved with that. I'm trying to remember which character is doing the fortune telling, but yeah, she does participate in it.
And she is also part of the 6-man duel, or
Mhm.
I guess technically 12-person duel, 6 per team. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
She is more important than a lot of the other Earth House people. But you said C, so she
I
goes
I
C.
I honestly might escalate her to B, so we can put her at B tier.
I don't like you being able to change your mind after. I think we have to set these things in stone. I feel
Alright,
like
alright, she goes to C tier with the rest of the minor
I
characters.
feel like regrets should be had. I feel like we should look back at this and wonder what the fuck we were doing.
Alright, so, why don't you introduce the next character?
Do you know who they are?
Oh, well, I mean, I went ahead and said she's another one of the characters that got bullied, but I was looking for a name, I was hoping you had that on cue.
Oh, Maisie May. Literally
Uh,
right next to her on the list. Literally, if you're going
Aliya
alphabetical,
Mahvash.
what the?
A is not next to L either.
What are you talking about? Am I looking at the wrong? Oh, that's on me. Sorry, I'm looking like 5 down.
Whoops. There we go.
Well,
Aliya
it's because they
Mahvash.
have similar hairstyles, but different colored hair. I got
Mhm.
thrown off.
So, why don't you introduce her?
Well, are you gonna give me the D, or are you telling me? Well, I don't want to say that ever
I
again.
was gonna go with another C here. I was grouping her together with the other character because they both got bullied and helped set the scene. And that's
Okay.
what I remember and what I cared about.
All right. I just want to make sure before I start going into it.
You don't gotta interrogate me about everything. You can talk and it's fine.
Well, I have to know if you remember who they are at all or not first. That's what I'm trying to set up ahead of time. Ah, this is difficult. I have a want to put her at A. I
Ooh.
want to put her at A, not for her own importance, but for the importance of what she's doing.
She's giving us the plot hints, isn't she?
Because if I do put her at A, because she is that important. No, she's not that important, but what she's doing. My problem here is that
Why don't you tell me what she is doing?
what's the name of that painter? But Jackson Pollock.
Mhm.
What she's doing is Jackson Pollocking, which might not be that important, but people could see it as important. Oh, god damn. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, that would put her at B tier, though. I think I can live with that. I'm gonna say A tier for me. She's the fortune teller.
There you go.
She's been in at least 3 scenes where she's had a minor bit of focus, namely the sleepover, the fortune telling she did in the repair bay when they were fixing up Ariel and giving it a jetpack. And there was something else I can't remember. And she was doing fortune telling at the sleepover too. You know, that's where she does the "you're gonna have man troubles," and then the leak has the old "don't you mess with my man" thing later. So yeah, B tier. I said A, you said C. That means B.
There you go then. So, next up on the list, one we both recognize, and I think I know where she's going. Prospera, Suletta's mother. At least in disguise, and her new identity as lead CEO of her company.
Prospera, cyborg in disguise.
Oh yeah, she's got the arm and everything. She's got the cool helmet, which somebody's got to inherit here for sure.
Well, the thing is, we also don't know how much more than the arm. Because,
Hmm.
they do the advertisement for Gundam, and one of the things they show is like a person from the back, and it's like everything from the neck, shoulders down to half back, underneath the skin is all weird. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be like anti-prosthetic. I'm not. I think that shit is amazing. Probably more so. I'm probably weird in the other direction, you know. But it's just I don't know how to describe what I'm seeing. Right?
All right. So then let's describe Prospera herself here, which is she has this wonderful, positive, scheming personality, which I feel is like very common in this series, right?
You say the problem is you're saying wonderful scheming personality, and I was about to say manipulative.
Yeah, absolutely.
One word is all I had. You're like positive spin.
Look, I'm positive about the negative traits because she's so good at it, right? She seems to do it effortlessly. She oozes confidence every single time she's involved with the plan. And it seems like she has a grander plan and everything is just going exactly how she thought it would.
I mean,
I don't think she's been surprised.
ever since the short novel, I have said this is our main antagonist.
Mm-hmm. Uh, which is still maybe technically yet to be seen. Other people are doing the moving. She's just kind of mostly there, but she has that moment
Well,
at the end
we have another
with
recording
Suletta.
later that might give evidence to that as well.
Fair enough, fair enough. I would rank her lower for that. In fact, I'd rank her higher, but she's already S tier. Where are you gonna put her, Theta?
Oh, you were
You
gonna put
got
her in S tier?
yeah.
I was gonna put her at A at best.
Oh wow, why are you gonna do that, Theta?
Why are you using my name so much?
Oh,
Remember, I can't see your face. Remember, if you're giving me like an accusatory look or something, I can't tell.
just imagine a perpetual scowl. Theta,
Well, I
why were you
mean,
gonna do that?
she's a mover for sure, but she's like a mover in 4 episodes. At most, she's also very, I don't want to say confusing, mysterious. Also, we don't know actually. Sorry, I'm in the conspiracy group. I don't actually know what her actual relationship is to the main character.
Right, we don't know what she's up to yet. We haven't really been informed of that. She has that mystery to her, but everything she does makes me more
Her
curious.
importance is definite, but I don't know that importance gets you a high part on the list by itself. Like, Vim Jeturk was very important. He tried to kill multiple people with explosives.
Mhm.
Didn't put him in S tier. I think A tier is as high as she's gonna go.
Alright, Prospera, going down to A tier. Next we have who we got here. Ah, there we go. Belmeria Winston. So, she appears as part of the Elan crew, or Pleo Technologies, actually. She's the
Well,
scientist working on everything.
do you remember who she is before that?
She was also a part of the Gundam research group
I
before she
I keep calling it the Vandis Institute, but I think I keep forgetting there's an A in the middle there, so it's like the Vanandis Institute.
bana- the banana.
Well,
So
that's
right,
like there's like an A and A sort of situation where I keep getting rid of the A and doing a VAND. I think it's
hmm,
Vanandis and not Vandis.
right. So she's part of the banana group, and
Well, she
she reveals
was.
that to Suletta as well. Yeah, was it doesn't exist anymore. So
Nope.
so she got in with Peel Technology. She's been doing this research, and of course she's a part of the Ellen project, which also involves euthanizing Ellens.
Oh, you said. Sorry, I didn't understand you said
Elon,
Elon.
sorry.
You said Ellen, and I'm thinking one, Ellen from TV, and
Oh, we
two,
got Tim Allen. It's tool time now.
now you're saying Alan. You're from
Elon is now Allen. This is now
Ellen,
official.
Ellen, Elon, Allen.
Hmm. So, but yeah, we get a good number of scenes with her. She definitely seems very genuine and nice, and is actually interested in helping out other people. She didn't really want to do the whole Elon project, and I think she's happy to not really be doing a lot of that now because she's moved over to the Gundam group,
Technically, no.
or she's just advising them
Yeah,
actually.
she's like,
Yeah, okay, okay.
she's like been getting allowed to allot some of her time over there, but specifically, she's also been told, sure, so long as we get something out of this.
Mhm. So I think I would put her at A tier here. I like her appearances. I think she's got a lot of interesting things going on. And right now she's just kind of being genuine and helpful.
I mean, I would agree with A tier. I think she's as important right now as Prospera is.
Hmm.
Specifically, I mean, she had a speech with Miorine that happened off screen that was very important, I believe, but we don't know what was said.
Hmm.
Like, she describes to Miorine why she joined the Venandus Institute, and she gives basically what starts off as like a dream deferred speech, and then we pan away, and then Miorine just comes back and like decides not to go with more machines. So it's like we know something profound happened to Belmora that changed her mind about everything she was doing before. And she gives that speech to Miriam, and we have no idea what the fuck was said.
Right. So we got some extra secrets going on here, and it'll be interesting to see what happens later. So, uh, you agreed on A, right?
Yeah,
Okay, cool. So we're on to our next character. Why don't you go introduce them?
Renee Costa. Do you remember who they are, Griff?
I remember they're part of Shaddiq's crew. Continue. Come on. I'm not gonna do all the talking here. You gotta do something.
Literally all I said, Griff, is you just have to tell me you know who they are. I don't say you have to describe them. I was trying to give you the hint to say, D, tell who they are. That's all you have to tell me. And I would have continued.
Come on, you gotta tell me first that you don't know someone in the future, so I gotta have you introduce
I've
them.
already told you, I know all of the characters, Griff. So, if you say
Testing you.
if you tell me you want me to introduce them, I just want to confirm that you don't know who they are. That's all I'm giving.
I just want you to go first. Go ahead and get us what's up.
Yeah, Renee Costa, she's the other half of the Don't Mess With My Man, because Lilique was offered a chance to go on a lunch date with her 12th backup boyfriend, and in fact turned her down, which then Renee took as a slight against her 12th backup boyfriend. She's also the number one fan favorite of the Shaddiq group. Not mine, though.
I have to say, I understand why she's a fan favorite. Just being a drama hound is definitely plenty enough. I would definitely give her like just a hard B, just for being funny and interesting immediately, and even if they don't appear anywhere else, it was funny to see them appear. They did their joke. It was a really good joke and good setup. Like I said, we had fortune telling about it.
I mean, I would say she's probably the number two best pilot in the Shaddiq group. I mean,
Mhm.
not including Shaddiq, although I don't know. Hard to tell. Shaddiq was doing a lot of organization fighting and not actual fighting in that fight.
Mhm.
I think I could agree with a B.
It was fun, and you know what? We might have more fun later. Right? Up next, who we got?
Maisie May, the one I
Maisie.
confused with the other one before because she has like green hair and the other one has blue hair, but otherwise they both have like the pigtail wrap things going on.
Mhm. And I think she's the one who's a part of Shaddiq's crew who specifically has a connection to Earth, isn't she?
Well, I don't know about that. She's I don't think anything's ever been shown between her and Earth.
Really? Maybe I might be confusing that with someone else. So who is she?
You know, actually, now you have me questioning. Hold on, let's do some quick math here. How many Shaddiq girls do you see left on the chart?
You know, you're asking me questions I'm not sure I know the answers to.
Well, how many more does it mean you've got no answer, or
I've got no answer.
God, because now I'm questioning, are we missing somebody? Alright, you know what? This might actually turn out to be a D. I
All
might
right, well,
actually have forgotten who this is.
all right. I'm not really sure either, so we'll just come back to
Hold
that
on.
later.
Just give me 1 second here. I'm not looking it up. Yeah, obviously, I'm holding a button for the push to talk. That's why I can't see that hand. His hand's up. I'm looking. I see the number one ranked popular one. Let's see. Do I see the teddy bear girl? Okay, maybe. We have the one who has like no emotions. We have Stretchy Girl. We have my favorite. She has to be Shaddiq's crew, which now makes me wonder if I'm missing one of the Earth girls. Alright. I think she is the teddy bear hugger from Shaddiq's crew.
Let's see if you're right.
What are you looking her up?
Trying to, and the answer is even Google returns the results. Nobody knows who she is.
That is impossible.
Ah, no, here she is. Who are you?
Ooh, 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 ooh.
Grassley House. Second year student in the piloting department who belongs to Grassley House. Maisie is one of the female students who supports Shaddiq, flashing smiles at everyone around her. She is an overwhelmingly positive thinker.
But does she hug a teddy bear?
Uh, I do not think so.
God, I'm taking that reference from two specific scenes. One when they are. It's not her.
Hmm.
Uh, Here, hold on. I'll share the image with you while I'm describing it. There is a scene when they're getting ready to fight, and there is a scene um, when they're all just in the room with Shaddiq, where they're all grouped up together, and you can see there she is, and there's the teddy bear hugger, literally in the same image.
Oh, I think that's the brown-haired girl here. Yeah, so that's not her.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not her because
Yeah,
she's in the same image with the
she's
girl I'm
just
talking about.
vibing, being positive. That's all.
But yeah, when they're getting ready to fight, the teddy bear hugger puts the thing in their locker. So
Mhm.
they each have their own thing that they do within the group,
Yeah.
and I thought that was her.
All right. So, I've gone ahead and dropped her off over here in D tier. What about you?
I have
She S
to.
tier for you?
No, I have to put her in D because I forgot who she was for a moment.
All right.
I remembered she was in the Shaddiq group. I got temporarily confused because I don't remember where one of these Earth witches are in the list. And I
All right.
really thought that I had in my head each one of the Shaddiq girls one defining trait.
Mhm. Up next then is Ireesha Plano, who, as we've just stated, is the teddy bear girl. For me, she goes to D tier because I didn't even remember that. But what about you? Where do you place I hug a teddy bear on the couch and I put it in my locker?
I mean, I guess I have to put her in D tier. Adorable and everything, but I did just get her confused with any other girl.
It it turns out she's a minor character, not too important. It turns out Shaddiq is the important character of the group, and they're just there to fill in.
Actually, a counterpoint to that is she has a lot of fans. Every member of the Shaddiq group has a ton of fans that we see on screen rooting
I
for
mean,
them as they get announced out loud.
I don't blame them. Like, there's good character design all around for the show, and just like, hey, okay, here's a character that I can vibe with. They got something nice. But in terms of like being important or being interesting characters who we want to see more story about,
You know, I
Maybe
think
they'll change their mind and show us the importance of the teddy bear. It's like, oh yes, that's right. This was the teddy bear of the girl who died after I blew up a building.
actually I do think I see who's missing. They're in the folder.
Hmm.
Norea Dunoc. I don't see her on the list here. I mean, on the tier maker. Do you see
Ah,
it?
so you're right. Yeah, I see
Which
what you mean.
I don't know why not though, because I literally just bulk uploaded all these together.
So, do you want to go ahead and rate the Earth Girl real quick?
I mean, if you just want to talk about her,
Yeah, just so we don't forget then.
um,
So Sleepy Earth Girl, Norea Dunoc.
yeah, not to be pictured on this tier because of some reason or other. I mean, where would you put her?
Um, she's definitely one of the pilots towards the later episodes, I recall,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. Just tell
Yeah,
me where you
she's
would put her, and then I'll talk about her.
I think I would probably put her like B or C. Probably C. I don't think we get a lot of her. We get more of her friend, who is remarkably more crazy.
Actually, I would have put her at B, but obviously it
We
means
could just drop
she
it B
goes to
then.
C. Well, no, you said I would C, so she would go to C. But
Okay.
I would agree with you that she's not important as her counterpart, which I think only belays to me that I would put her counterpart higher than B. But she is important because she is the level-headed member of that three-party group. Because she's also the one that tells the other girl to leave when it's becoming too dangerous.
Mhm. So there we go then. So we have just a sensible character, sensibly in there, and will sensibly be featured in the future, and maybe have more expanded on her.
Sensibly.
She'll get her featured episode. All
Next
right.
one is one of your favorites.
Is it? I might actually need a reminder. Who is Haneo Jazz? Just
Oh,
just
I
jumpstart my memory real
I
quick.
just know that you love jazz.
Ah, gosh darn it, Theta. Well, I don't remember what they do. I'm gonna guess Shaddiq Crew.
Yeah,
Yeah, Shaddiq Crew.
I think you can just make an educated guess on that because you know Shaddiq's crew is all women, and there's only a certain number of women left on the chart. So
Only so many people it can be, right?
she is the one that seems to be emotionless. I think I moments ago called her the stretchy one because when they're getting ready for the fight and like they're all standing in front of her lockers, she's doing some like insane gymnastic move. You know, like where you touch the, do you call it the palm of your foot? What do you call it?
I guess.
Like the whole underside of her foot to the back of her head while standing up.
Right, so she can do her stretches then.
Well, you know, it's a completely unnecessary move while you're sitting down in a mobile suit cockpit.
It's all just to show
There's
off.
no need to stretch that far, is all I'm saying.
Mhm. So I'm still throwing her a D tier. You got any opposition?
I was gonna say C, but D puts her down to D anyway, so.
Yep. Up next then is Feng Jun, the smuggler pilot, the one that Miorine has hired to get her off the station. And then they part ways for a bit and return, and now they are working together once again. They clearly have like a lot more connection and stuff going on, and they haven't directly been tapped, but they and their co-pilots are interesting characters, and
Justin
I kind of like
Marsh,
them.
who we
Yeah,
might as well, since they're right here together,
yeah,
might
they
as well
are. They're
just
in a group.
say it together.
They're in a group. I would go ahead. I would put them directly in B tier and go. They're interesting. I like what they've done. They were clearly going to be a primary tool for the main characters, but they've also kind of engineered themselves into a new situation. They are more than being just strictly minor.
You know, the most interesting thing now, they piloted the ship, right? To episode 12. They did not,
Yes.
actually.
No? Okay.
Well, I know they pilot to Marone, Miro.
Yorn.
Yeah, I know it, but every time I see it, it reads differently in my head. They pilot her ship, but I don't remember seeing them on the ship on the way to the station. Like,
Oh, you don't usually hang out with the pilot, I guess.
well, we went to the bridge, remember? And there was just all the kids were there.
Hmm.
I don't mean that during episode 12. I mean like during episode 11.
Okay.
They were just all kids there.
Right. I think they're just hired on. I'm not quite sure where they are in currently.
I would
So
say C tier. What did you say again?
B.
So they dropped to C. They had like slightly important things to say in early episodes,
Hmm.
but now they're like just the chauffeurs. They've had like no input, and they haven't really done anything of import past episode 2.
Hmm. All right. Next we have Olcott. And I'm trying to remember if it's either Olcott or Naji that is the one who's actually in charge of the Earth terrorist group. It's one of those two, and I'm just remembering. Oh, right, it was definitely someone with like a very thick, strong male build kind of thing.
I thought you were about to say it's definitely somebody with a thick beard.
All right, so that would be Naji who's in charge. We cleared that up. So then, who's Olcott? What does he get around to?
Are you
He's def.
telling me you don't remember who he is?
I don't remember who he is.
So that's a D tier for you.
It's got to be then.
He's one of the 3 that were specifically piloting mobile suits in the attack in episode 12. Because if you recall, when Suletta gets an aerial and does her mega death beam, one of the 2 girls, I think specifically the one to not be pictured, says,
Mhm.
"Look out, Olcott!"
All right.
Specifically, he's also in the middle of the organization chart on my web for the
Yeah.
terrorist group because
He's
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 also often treated as more important than the 2 girls are.
right. But I don't think we've got much of an introduction to him or what his deal is or anything yet, right? He's
I
just there. He's
I
functional.
think we've seen him 2 or 3 times already, but I don't remember what he sounds like.
In that case, yeah. I would stick with D here. What about you for right now?
I find that I would put a lot of people at C tier that you don't remember, which makes the put it at D tier.
You're just being too generous.
Well, no, it's I remember who they are, and
Hmm.
just the mere fact of remembering them gives them story. And
Right.
also, he attacked the station, which was a very important moment in the story.
Yep. Yep. Up next we have who's this guy? I don't recognize him. He looks familiar for some reason, like somebody else, but I don't know who this guy is.
For all intents and purposes, we're going to treat Elan Ceres, Enhanced Person number 5, and Master Elan as one and the same, given that, as they specifically said themselves, Elan Ceres number 5 was chosen for being almost exactly like Master Elan.
Right, so he's a more perfect double. I'm okay with that. Until one of them dies and the other one doesn't, it won't matter too much here.
Or one
So,
of them does something that the other one wouldn't have
right.
done.
So we definitely have a far more manipulative personality here. They're both on the board with just kind of what are their goals? What are they trying to do with breaking up Suletta and like Miorine here? Or are they like actually after something?
Well,
I'm not really sure, but he is definitely twirling his mustache a whole lot, and it is funny.
I think what they do was pretend to be a deaf mute.
Well, ultimately, I do like him. I like a lot of the stuff that's happening with him, but he does. I feel less for him than Elan 4. I don't think he's gotten a specific central thing happening other than, trying to court Suletta a little bit here. I would put them at A rather than S, which I would have put Elan 4 at.
I was trying to gesture to the camera what I would put them at, and then forgot if I was being mirrored or not. So
Mhm.
then had a hard time figuring out if I was doing a B or a D at the camera.
Yeah, you're going to D tier. All right, understood.
No, what did you say? What tier?
A.
Well, I was trying to mimic a B, so that means they get dragged down to B. I do not like Master Elan as much as I liked Elan number 4.
Mhm.
Um, Master Elan's goals and personality, well, personality's not nebulous. His goals are nebulous enough. We don't know much about them. Elan number 5 is just a jerk, so not as favorable. I like how much Elan 4. I even did, when we talked about Elan 4, how much there was a big old dip where I didn't like them.
Mhm.
I liked how much background uh, depth Elan 4 had just by book alone and what the two paragraphs said about them as a character. Elan 5 is all face. It's all base level surface. There's nothing to them.
That can be interesting too. All Elin 5 needs is a clear objective and us seeing him working towards that specifically. That's all I really want, and I'd probably pop him up.
In fact, we got the opposite of that at the end of episode 12, where he gets the message, huh, Earth Gundams, better stay away from that. It's like, okay, that's one thing I know you're not about.
I'm going to choose to not sacrifice my life this time. Aha. So, with that settled at least, we have up next Lotta Neal. Ah, who's this guy? I don't remember him. Is he the brother of someone important? Ah, probably not.
Technically, no. Technically,
uh,
on two sides,
but
he's the half brother of
he's
somebody not important.
so he's half as important as I thought he was. No, specifically, he is the one who is set in charge of Jeturk House after, of course, our boy Ghoul gets ejected from it. And he starts, of course, doing more of the work for his father here. Taking on the roles that I imagine Ghoul would have been doing if he were not kicked out, including, of course, trying to intimidate Prospera and then failing.
Well, I don't know that he tries to intimidate her. I
I
think,
think it is strong arming her into a deal.
well,
So maybe
oh,
intimidating is
right,
too strong
yeah.
of a word, but
Sorry,
he is.
you said Prospera, and I thought Suletta. Because I was remembering the times he goes, curse you, Suletta. He
Yeah,
does
a lot of.
shout that for some reason.
Wait, he does? I don't remember Lotta, Neil, and Suletta ever having a scene together.
I don't think they were together. I think it was during a
Yeah.
duel. I think it was when Ghoul stole his mobile suit and fought, and he's like in the duel committee room,
Mhm.
and he just shouts, "Curse you!" It's either that or during the 6-on-6, and he's just hoping to get revenge. He's like not actively doing anything.
He's just there.
He's
He's mugging for
expressing.
the camera.
Well, and he's not like the camera's not even on him. It's like panning away from the room, and he just shouts, "Curse you, Suletta Mercury!"
So I would put him at a strong B. He's interesting, he's doing things, but he is kind of more just an extension of another character. When it comes to things he's actively doing, he doesn't have a goal himself yet.
He does this all the time, weirdly. Cupping his hand against his cheek, but he's got that hair that hangs down. I don't know how you like do this backwards
Yes.
and not get it in your face. Like I'm imitating it now, and like my knuckles are clearly in my eyes.
Maybe the point is to blind yourself to show that you only need 50% of your eyes. So where would you put him?
Because the only thing is that like Kaguya-sama from Love Is War does this all the time as a soothing gesture to calm herself down. And I thought that's what he was doing a lot, but he's messing with his hair for no reason. Yeah, I mean, I would agree with B. I want to say he's more important, but he's not. He has a supportive brother role, but not really all that much, because we know where Ghoul winds up. So I guess B. B works.
Alright. Up next we have the man himself, Delling Rembran. Definitely focal character here. What are your thoughts first?
I mean, he's an out-of-touch father figure. He is very much king of the castle, as given by episode 2. You know, I can't remember the quote, but it's basically, what do you think? Everything you say goes? He's like, yes. in front of a boardroom full of people.
He
Turns
is.
out, turns out to be an actual father figure though. Shields his daughter with his own body, takes a blow, gives the exposition about the wife, where she's like, "Well, why didn't you both escape?" Which means something like this happened before and it killed the mom.
Mhm.
But then he walked away from the funeral saying nothing.
So a big part of Mjorn's plot is, of course, dealing with her father here. And the thing with Delling, of course, is he's a bit of an asshole, and partially because Mjorn did not want to be involved with this whole business world or anything to do with it, particularly because of the whole mother thing,
I
right?
mean, arguably
Which
there's
we get revealed more later. But
arguably there's more than a business world thing going on. You don't just like
mhm.
set up a dual wins my daughter's hand in marriage thing just on business alone.
Right, he's still very much an asshole who only wants the things that specifically he's asking for, and in the ways that he wants it because it benefits him. He didn't care a whole lot initially. At the very end, he suddenly has like some more human moment to him. Uh, but it is interesting watching him go become increasingly interested in the fact Bjorn is interested in engaging with him and having that turn of face. He's still the person who originally gets up and goes, "Let's burn them witches."
Yeah.
But
Although
he's interesting here,
remember
has
we have
character and a lot of
passed
stuff going on.
remember we have passed him on here too.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah. We'll get to past him too, but I think old him still gets an S from me.
I think I need you to sell me on that a little bit more.
Uh, Well, why don't you tell me what makes him not an S for you? What is his downside for you?
Well, I was gonna put him in A tier.
Mhm.
Similarly to how we've already done Vim Jeturk,
Yeah.
Prospera Mercury, and to a lesser extent I would say Belmeria.
hmm
That's what I'm
I mean,
saying. Can you upsell me to an S?
can I sell you to an S? No character is more important to the story than Delling. Delling is the entire thesis of the series. Everyone else is reacting to him.
Okay, A. You go into A. Unfortunately,
Okay.
you countersold me. You're right. No important person is more important than Delling. Unfortunately,
And he would tell you himself.
unfortunately, I would argue young Delling is the one that's no one's more important.
There you go then.
Old Delling is living in the shadow of young Delling.
So we know where we're gonna put young Delling then. So we'll get back to that in a little
Yeah,
bit.
it's a different discussion.
Up next we have Eric Saimaya.
Wow, did you just say that?
I think maybe
You
I
call
did.
young Airy Eric?
Eric Saimaya. Can I get like a pronunciation guide on
I'm
that?
pretty sure it's supposed to be like German, where there's a lot of that that's just not said. We'll just call her Airy.
Okay.
We
Well,
both
we're gonna
know.
go ahead and call it Lil Airy. So Lil Airy as opposed to New Airy Suletta.
Well,
Uh
debatable.
well, yeah, so we'll get back to that. Little Airy is absolutely adorable. They're having their birthday, they're having a great time with their mom, they get to go and check out the cool robot, and look, their father's even singing happy birthday. This is the best day ever.
Well, I need a quick reminder. Was the prologue an hour, or was that a normal episode length?
I think it was a normal episode length.
Okay. Just felt like a lot.
It was very dense. Little Airy is having their birthday, and they deserve an S. That's my gift to them.
I think on conspiracy alone, I think I have to put her at S. Because if she is not Suletta, that means she has import all of her own. If she turns out to be Ariel, she's definitely S.
So here's an extra one that I'm gonna put in there. This might even factor more in season 2. But Ariel, as we've discussed, is certainly sentient, right?
According to Cradle Planet, she is sentient. Cradle Planet,
Where would you rate Ariel as a character on the tier list?
clarification, Cradle Planet being the short story if you're
Yeah.
not in the Vogue.
So
Well,
where would we put
that's
Ariel?
what I'm saying. If Ari is Ariel, which I also gave a 10-minute diatribe about in
Mm-hmm.
my hour-long spiel before, as possibility with ghost images included,
Mm-hmm.
and the running towards Ariel covered in vines as done by Ari herself.
Mm-hmm.
I got in the whole
Happy
gunned bits
birthday.
and the whole gunned bits thing appearing as mini Aries.
Mm-hmm.
I have to put her at S tier.
Right. Even if we're going to go young and old here, I would probably put Ariel also at S. So, next, of course, we have Eleonora Samaya, otherwise futurely known as Prospera.
Possibly. There's also
Possibly.
a conspiracy that exists. I don't know. Probably not very popular. I imagine that
Mhm.
Prospera and El, what was her name again? El
Elnora.
El not appearing in this episode. I love that's my favorite joke. Elnora and Prospera may also be two different characters, but I think that's a not a lot of credence is given to that.
In this case, we'd just be judging her off of what's happened in the prologue. How would we think of her?
Well, I think actually you'd be judging her based on styles of motherhood,
Hmm.
because Prospera treats Suletta a lot differently than Elnora treats Eri.
Hmm. So, in terms of cool mother working on cool Gundam stuff, where would you go ahead and put Elnora?
God damn it. A, I guess A.
I would also go with her day. We only have the 30-minute bit with her. She's young, she's having fun, and then she has to go fight. But I liked her. She was a good focus character, and of course, the assumption is later she turns to Prospera, which I can see why.
A lot of parents just get A tier.
Yeah, you know what? This is Parent Day, I suppose.
I guess it just shows how influential the parents in the show are to the characters that they spawn.
Yep.
The only ones not really following that are the Elans, the Peel CEOs.
Good parent, bad parent. There you go. Good parent awards their kid and sings happy birthday. Bad parent destroys their kid in the incinerator and sings happy birthday.
Well, technically, they made Belmeria do that, and Belmeria is sort of a parent figure in an A tier. So,
Yup. So we got two people with orange jackets here, and one of them is coming up. Nadam Samaya. Um, and he's
just
already dead.
the way you said the name almost makes me think you're forgetting who this is.
He's the father. He's dead.
So I want to say it was Nadim, not Nadim.
Oh right, Nadim would probably be more
I
correct.
don't know what it is. It gives me that the like Indian subcontinent naming convention feel.
I get the feeling that's probably the intention. But yeah, no, he's dead. We had an episode with him, the prologue. That's all we get. We know he's a cool pilot. He does his best. He sings happy birthday and he goes out with a bang.
I guess Elnora would be the German side of the name, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm just thinking they obviously couldn't both have Indian roots in the naming convention because Ari clearly has a German style name. I'm thinking,
Hmm.
where does Elnora come from? Has to be Germanic somewhere because she chose Ari's name, obviously. I don't think
Right, right, right.
Nadim chose Eric, Eriched, or whatever.
Hmm.
Sorry, just doing
So
that thing where I dive into characters' thoughts.
So what do you think about his happy birthday song? Like, where would you rate that?
Oh, what did you say?
The father of Suletta goes out with bang?
No, ranking. What did you say, ranking?
Oh, I didn't give him a rank. I was gonna go ahead and give him an A as well.
God, that is so difficult, isn't it? I was thinking B, but what allotment do you give to literally sacrificing your life for your wife and daughter? Because other than that, well, I don't know. He does give some exposition. I'll go A. He does give exposition as well. He has the phone call with the head of Earth Ox, which is literally the only Earth Ox person we've ever seen. And we get that a little bit of information. But other than that, they did that to delay a birthday party because of him.
Well, hey, we got the birthday party at the end. That's what really
Sacrificed
matters.
his life, delayed a birthday party.
Look, he gave his daughter fireworks for her birthday.
One of which was himself.
So there we go, A tier. Let's do it. Next, we got the leader of the Vandis Institute, Cardo Nabo.
Or Vanandus Institute, depending.
The Bananas, yeah. So, Cardo Nabo, we get one episode with her, and then like a retrospective documentary later, I think.
Might not be dead.
Really? They were in the room and they shot. I swear I remember that.
We heard a bang. We didn't see her die on camera.
So if she comes back, hilarious.
Well, I mean,
But I mean,
they sent an entire crew in, and these are people we saw shoot on site, right? They didn't shoot her on site. That implies to me that maybe they went in there to capture her. They gave her time to talk. For all we know, they shot her in the hand, right? Or like warning shot, or she shot and then got caught.
they shot the monitor instead.
I'm just saying, like, they went in. Obviously, they didn't blow up the asteroid with all their people still on it. They set charges and left. Entirely possible. Caught her, left. Season 2 reveal. I'm throwing out there because not just my theory, other people have said it as well. Possibly not dead.
Right. So, possibly not dead, but she's also the one primarily giving us a lot of the information during the prologue. She's also the one who, of course, founds the Gundam stuff, has this whole ideology about, like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna enhance people for space, it's gonna be great,
Not
and they're working out the
to
problems.
gunk up all the works, but all the meaningful parents are in A tier. Literally called grandma. So
I was about to say I'm gonna give her an A tier. I think she's important. She has some good characterization for the short bit that we have, and she goes out with another bang. Heck, she was probably about to go down shooting.
possibly, if
Possibly.
not alive.
All right. So we got Grandma on the list now. But this next person, who is undoubtedly a part of the Banana Institute.
Banana. Banana.
Yeah. Nyla Bertrand, wearing the suit. He's a mechanic there at the
Oh,
Institute.
Griff. Did you just misgender Nyla?
Did I? I need to zoom and squint at this.
That
I
is
don't know.
a woman.
Alright, well, Miss Bertrand then. I don't remember.
I mean, I did also give you the full-on opportunity to pull an Austin Powers. If that's a woman, that's the most man. I can't remember what he says about
He
Basil's
goes
mom.
off for a while. That's what I
Was
remember.
the Basil's mom
Looking back,
one?
that joke
And
has
the other
actually not aged super well, but
It's still pretty funny. I'm sorry. It's a funny joke, despite being insensitive.
we're canceling Austin Powers. but Nyla here, I don't remember. She's there. I know all the things that obviously are about her. I don't remember what she does.
Really?
Yeah.
You see the girl next to her?
Yes.
Yeah, you remember how she gets, like, shot?
No, actually, I don't remember that.
Alright, well, that's not gonna help with everything else.
Well,
The
go ahead and describe to everyone else what do you think about her. What's important about
well,
her?
yeah, we know you automatically giving her a D because of the rules.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, Wendy there and her hung out a lot. Wendy was like a pilot and she's like a mechanic. And then they invade the Institute, and Wendy gets shot immediately while trying to run away with Nyla. And then Nyla jumps in a suit and goes outside and starts fighting, where then she gets killed, obviously.
Hmm. So for her heroicism, where would you put Nyla?
Well, probably C. Because it's
And
funny,
then
everybody you forget is a C tier character for me, which then makes them a D tier because you drag them down. It's like, has to be, because they have to be amazing enough for me to put them up to B, for me to get dragged down to C. But if they were that amazing, you'd remember them. So it's
exactly.
their fate to be dragged down to D.
Which is why I also don't remember Wendy, and as you just described, she's dead. She was in
Well,
the prologue for a couple seconds, and she's dead.
half of the people on this list from the prologue are dead, but
Exactly.
and the other half are dead inside. But
So, so she's going to D for me. If all she does is get on screen and dies, I'm not sure you can give me a good argument for B, can you?
well, no, she has like a pre-existing like. I'm not sure what their relationship is. I want to say like possibly an actual relationship due to
Yeah,
how distraught she is. But I mean, you could
that would
also
make a
be
lot of sense.
you could also be that distraught over the death of a good friend.
Mhm.
Like it could be like the whole spotter pilot relationship thing we have going on at the school with a number of those characters. Like even Choo Choo runs off and beats wholesale ass. So
Yep. So, up next, we have the prologue, Delling Rembran, and we've been over this. You gotta burn them witches.
well, it's because in the prologue, Zenelli is actually in charge of everything, and Delling, with Vim, goes behind his back to set up a military assault to take out the Ox Earth group as well as the Fernandez Institute while Zenelli is busy giving a speech. Previously, they had talked about it, and Zenelli was actively against the proposition of doing such because he thought it was an overstep of an economic group dealing with things militarily, which is why I was saying before that Zenelli is not a bad person. And it's eventually why he loses his position as the number one in the group because he wasn't willing to do these things that others were willing to. But
Right.
that
But his
places Bennett as the cause of and most important factor, the first domino to fall.
Yep. So for Delling Rembrandt when he's young, for his introduction alone, I would give him S tier. I looked at that and went, I am so excited for this villain. And then he hugs Miorine in that episode 12.
Yeah, that's why I would argue that older Bennett is not. He's not the figurehead that you described trying to upsell me to S.
Right.
Young Bennett is. Old Bennett is a man of regret.
Exactly. Which, speaking of regrets, we're going to young Sarius Zenelli, the person who got stabbed in the back over all of this.
Right.
Um, I'm trying to remember actually, how much does he actually show up in the prologue?
He is the one giving the speech about the ethics of Gundams.
Ah, okay, okay.
That
I remember.
basically his whole point of view is that people should be responsible for killing other people. Our weapons that we fight other people with should not kill us. That is inhumane, it is unethical, it is not how we should move forward in our murder of one another.
He's got a stance. He sticks to it. He expresses it well. I mean, again, prologue character, short term time with him there, and then of course he's older later. I would give uh, young Sarius here S. Would you lower him down?
I would actually to A.
There you go.
I would also I just want to put a point
Boop.
out there that he is also stuck to his guns the entire time. When Vim is obviously cheating the rules to do something Gundam-like, Prospera, as a company leader, obviously is. The Peel co-CEOs are all cheating. He is actively still trying to shut down all Gundams. He doesn't believe in it, and he wants them all shut down, and openly chastises all the other corporations for cheating what they all agreed on, and obviously what he got forced into by the actions of Banneret and Vim. So
Right. So
he,
speaking of Vim, he is up next. Where would you put Vim then?
well, I'm
Young Vim.
still moving Zenelli to A, which I guess also is a weird stance when you think about it. That he becomes less relevant over time.
I mean, that happens. Time passes, positions change. That like the whole backstabbing thing happened.
Well,
Uh,
he's our only parent figure that arguably is doing a good job. We have different stances on him, obviously.
yeah, yeah.
That is down in C tier. All of our other parents are up in A tier, and now we have
And he's only in C tier because he doesn't pop up a whole lot because he's old.
young version of him in A tier with the other parents. He ages out of being a parent, I guess.
So speaking of parents, I might actually go ahead and put Vim up in A, young Vim. Just put him in the same spot. It's kind of hard to like disassociate these three when they're young doing their thing together.
Not so hard for me. I would put him at B, and he's going to
Fair
B
enough.
because I'm ranking him down. Um,
Boop.
he's part of the plot, but he's not the visual part because Benneret in the prologue is leading that charge. Vim is giving him the support, but he's not like center stage. He like
Mhm.
reports to Benneret that things are in motion, but otherwise, older version of him is out and about doing a lot more important to the current plot
Yeah,
than
yeah.
old Vim or Vim from past. Sorry,
Young
forgot
Vim.
how to say that.
There you go. So speaking about people who get older and change, this is one you have the picture from the prologue here, I believe. Kenanji Avery,
Yeah,
the person who kills, of course, Suletta's father.
formerly an ace pilot, goes on to say weirdly poetic stuff in the future.
Yeah, he's in charge of the Cathedral Group, which is like a strike team of mobile suits specifically meant to try to take down Gundams.
Well, I mean, he's not in charge of it. Um,
He's commanding them. I think
he
he has a higher rank than other pilots.
he's in charge of that group that we see there. I don't think he's in charge of Cathedra. I think specifically Benneret is also in charge of Cathedra.
Yeah,
I
he
think.
definitely super mellows out, or is at least like really calm when we see him later. But in the prologue, I don't super duper remember what he was up to.
Well, what I'm
But he
saying
looks like an asshole here.
in the in the current episodes, like episode 12, he's like the only targets I hit are my hate of something. It's like he's weirdly waxing poetic. So you're saying you don't remember him in the prologue?
Well, I'm saying like I don't remember like what his attitude is. I remember what he does. That's the primary reason we remember him at all.
Yeah, that's why I was confused.
So what do
Why?
you think of him?
Well, I mean, in the prologue, he doesn't say anything to make me think he's an asshole. It's
I'm
actions.
just basing it off of his look
I
there.
was saying,
That's all.
well, I don't know where you're coming from here, buddy. He's just like an older ghoul. I don't know what you're coming from. What are you saying, man?
Older Ghoul is also an asshole.
He's like a
We're gonna get the
taller,
time skip here.
he's a taller, skinnier ghoul at one moment in his life.
Right. So right now I'm leaning towards C. So there we go. A weird C recommendation out of me.
Why C?
Uh, because while he does an important thing, he doesn't feel very central to anything. I don't like foresee Suletta going after him specifically for revenge or something,
You
right?
don't see Prospero coming after him for revenge?
She hasn't indicated anything at all, and as we discussed, she's a bit of a mystery. Maybe she is beyond that. Or is she? We don't know yet. We
Yeah,
need the reveal. Is she petty or is she not?
we know she's petty. She blackmailed two characters already.
Well, that was towards purposes.
Sorry, does that mean I can blackmail anyone I want so long as I have a reason?
Yeah, I'm sure. Though no one will court to say otherwise, right?
But anyway, my point was more so if Suletta, I'm sorry, if Prospera, if Prospera goes after somebody, my thought process is ipso facto, Suletta goes after somebody.
Correct.
Because in the Cradle Planet, literally Ariel says she is I'm sorry. In Cradle Planet, does she refer to her as Prospera or just her mother?
I think mom.
Or does she say her name? Either way, she says she's her sword.
Yeah,
So whatever she wants dead, Ariel acknowledges she gets pointed at.
but they haven't acknowledged him as important yet. Probably because they don't know he's still around.
I think Prospera is definitely the kind of person.
No, actually, here's funny side theory. Ariel will recognize him and go after him.
I mean,
That would be funnier.
that depends. Because remember, um, in the prologue, Ariel is not called Ariel. Ariel is called Gundam Liftfried. German names.
Right.
It's in Cradle Planet she becomes Ariel. At which point Suletta is a character. At which point Ari might be Ariel. So there's a very big distinction, primarily towards Gundam Liftfried might not know who this is, and I don't know that Ari would know who this is, which
So
would
where
mean
would you put Avery?
Ariel might not gain some air there. Um, Arguably, he is have an important role in episode 12 in that he leads the group in, which then runs everybody off, which gives uh, Suletta an opportunity to save Miorine. So, without the guy that killed Suletta's or Aries' dad, we might not have saved Miorine, which makes him terrible and important. So I would say B, which then
Oh,
gets dragged down to C anyway.
and there you go. So up next we have Kamil Kasink. And he can hang out with the rest of the student body in D here. I don't remember what he gets
I
up
would have
to.
put him at C, given our previous discussion of where my C characters are and the people you can't remember. I've given you a clue already to who he is. Do you not remember?
I don't remember it. Is he the dude?
Well, he was not in the movie, so no. He is the only male character that we have named from Jeturk House. Sorry, not Jeturk House. In the Ghoul Gang.
There we go. All right.
Oh
So,
man,
well,
if you had remembered one more person, we wouldn't be double road in the decal.
well, we're not done yet. Next we have Naji Gior who appears to be the one who's actually in charge of the Earth group that is controlling the Gundams. The one we keep calling the terrorist group from
Can you
Earth.
name them, Griff?
Can I name them all? No, but I
No,
do
no,
know
no.
Sophie's there.
The name of the group.
No, because I just don't remember them saying it.
Oh, they've said it multiple times. We've talked about it before. 3 words. Middle word is of.
Um, Human Reform League.
One is first word. You might see it in the morning. Second word, third word. Uh, you probably do it to your bed sheets.
Dawn of Crumple.
So close.
Donafold.
There you go.
Wait, yeah, that's why I don't remember it, because it just doesn't really stand out.
That's what I was saying. That you got it off the hints.
So yes, he's in charge. He's the one who's actually giving the orders, and I think it
Before you say it, I'm going B.
okay. B's good. He definitely seems like he's going to be important. I don't remember him doing much more, I think, other than maybe talking to Sadiq.
Shaddiq, you mean?
Shaddiq, yeah, sorry. I would probably drop him down to C.
Well, I mean, that forces him to be, so.
Yep.
I would just
So
say B because he's not super important. I mean, he is, obviously.
he's
And,
focal.
and yeah, he's the narrative, he is important. But in the actual action economy of things, all he's really done is hold a crew captive by gunpoint
Mhm.
and then told everybody to retreat. He hasn't done very much.
He's a commander. He gave commands. We don't know what he's about. Why is he in charge of a terrorist organization? Where did he get these Gundams? Is there someone higher up than him? We don't really know a lot about him yet. But then we come to Sophie Poulon. Is that how you would pronounce it?
Uh, yeah, I guess so.
Poulane.
You know,
Polone.
Malone. No, I say Malone is probably
I
right.
don't I don't think they used her last name, but Sophie.
I tend to try and pronounce these things in 2-letter increments. P-U,
Mhm.
poo, L-O, lo. Polone, yeah, I guess Polone.
Yeah. So Polone Bolone. Sophie is crazy and I love it.
Argue.
She
We've argued that. I don't think she's crazy.
uh she's well, to put it more succinctly, she is hyperactive, incredibly hyper focused, and incredibly dangerous.
I don't call people that are obsessed crazy. They don't like that and they try to kill you.
I that's just like simplifying things down to one word. I would probably better describe her as ADHD in this case,
Well, I
honestly.
mean, she's like an
She
obsessed fan, which
she has
is
yeah,
problematic, but not crazy.
she doesn't keep focus on anything except the thing she's obsessed with. That is it. She is also, of course, like I said, very dangerous. And that's very dangerous to Suletta. She wants to be a rival. Suletta doesn't know she exists.
Let me give my rank real quick. I would put her at A.
I was gonna say S, just because even though she had very little screen time, I enjoyed every moment of it. A is perfectly fine too.
I mean,
We'll
do you
get some
want to
cool
try and
backstory.
upsell me?
She's going to be an antagonist. She's going to be the primary rival here, or she's going to be the Vegeta wannabe.
Is that your best upsell?
She. We're going to have a lot of fun in the future. That's the only upsell I can give for right now.
You didn't even pull out possibly a sister.
Oh gosh, you're right. Oh,
See, I put her in A tier.
I forgot about that conspiracy.
I put an A tier out there for her. Even knowing that, my best emotional connection to her, here while I drag her up to A.
Is through someone else.
Well, no. Um, she says something that makes me felt emotional resonance towards her. Only in so much in that I feel like she's a little kid and
Hmm.
not an adult. Like she's a little kid with a gun. And that's because
Yeah.
she goes permit score 4 and like starts complaining about her chest hurts.
Hmm.
And then she says the one thing that gave me resonance with her. Oh, I feel like I'm gonna throw up the snacks that I ate earlier. And that's like equal parts little kid. Like, oh man, she's ate a couple snacks. And she's worried she's gonna throw up. And kid with a gun is what that made me feel.
It is highly informative of her personality right
There's
there.
an emotional resonance that felt like a little kid thing to say, but
Mhm.
also little kid with a gun. It's like, ah.
my snacks, I had my nap, and now I'm going murdering. So speaking of murdering, our last one, Sabina Fardin, who?
I would put her at B tier, but obviously you're gonna put her at D tier.
Why would you put her at B tier? Why is she important for you?
Oh, she's best girl.
Really now? Oh yeah, that's right. You did. She's one of the other Gundam pilots, isn't she?
No,
No. Okay. Who is she
we
then?
literally already covered the other
I'm sorry.
Gundam
I already
pilot.
forgot.
The other Gundam pilot's not on here because she didn't get uploaded for some reason.
I forgot. What? Who is she then?
Hold on, I was like, why did she not get uploaded? I just want to double check. Now she's a PNG file. Don't know why. Um, she is third tier. Third. What do you call it?
Third year.
Third year. Sorry, my brain just died. The air is not getting in there anymore. She's third year Shaddiq group. She's like the most ride or die for Shaddiq among all of them. She is in the 6-on-6 fight, the one that literally throws her mobile suit in front of Shaddiq to try and save him. When
Wow. Yeah.
Shaddiq goes to negotiate for control of Gundam, she's the one sitting next to him. She's the one that does the rules rewrite when he asks for it. She is also the most adult looking of the entire Shaddiq harem. She also
Most
has.
likely to be Shaddiq's main girl. Yeah.
She also is the. She does the cool thing where, she's wearing a cape, but she only wears it over one shoulder, even though it's strapped along both. So, she's like half caped, half not.
So B tier for existent, I can give you that, but
Well,
she
no,
goes
she
down
is,
to C
yeah,
tier because I'm like, I don't even
which
care.
makes which makes C tier our other double decker.
And that would complete the tier list right there. Look at this beautiful list where we have, of course, our big four right up there, as well as the best birthday girl and Young Justice here.
Yeah, kind of an unexpected S tier list, given that we have two prologue people on it.
Well, I mean, I know there's more people I would have put in S tier,
Yeah, that's why we have
but that's what A tier is for.
that's why we have a very vibrant A tier.
So, at least for the tier list, we could probably go ahead and wrap this up here unless you got anything more we want to say, and we could go ahead and move right into the videos next, which you can go ahead and see our top 10 episodes in our next episode. So, Theta, you got any final things to say about the tiers?
No, I think we pretty much discussed them out as they were happening. I mean, some people I would have put higher, some people you would have put higher. I don't think it was as one-sided as the Iron-Blooded Orphans tier list, where I
Yeah.
was just dragging you down the whole way. You dragged me down a whole lot. I dragged you down a whole lot. We're like anchors, anchoring each other.
It's a perfect relationship with nothing bad happening at all. But so we have a lot of supporting cast here though, and I think as we said, that's a really good thing for this series. We might not rate them very highly, but it's good that they are all there. I definitely am not sure I'm going to see like the Naji episode or whatever. But they are there to support the rest of the crew and they do their job. And I think
I think you
they
meant
help set the
Rajan.
scene for everyone else.
Like,
Eh, it's one of them.
maybe that's what
It's
you're
one of
talking
them.
about. Well, it's just that old joke we had before that Rajin might get an episode. Because, as far as we know, still alive. But, yeah,
True.
no, I mean, I came into this saying I know who all these people are, and I only got proven wrong once when I had the literal two characters that sit next to each other backwards. But
Now,
I accepted it.
there's just one more thing that you're missing here. Where are our two pranksters, Theta? They're to put it on the list.
Well, for one thing, the website doesn't say that they should be.
I
But another thing,
the authors themselves disagree that they're important.
well, because another thing, two of those pranksters are on the list, You forgot who they were, which is why they got ranked so low.
Alright then.
Because
So I think we'll go ahead. Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead.
Go. I think we're gonna go ahead and just wrap it up right there then. Be sure to come by next time and see us for our episode ranking. For right now, this is Stoneface Reactions, everyone. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we'll catch you next time. We'll see you around. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?